Great, finally time to review the official bullet journal notebook from Leuchttrum. I think I'll just check my emails before I do the review, just to make sure. Hi there, welcome back. Today I wanted to take a look at the bullet journal notebook from Leuchttrum, the official bullet journal notebook. And that's because I've been interested in trying out the proper bullet journal method, not the sort of half bullet journal or bullet journal influenced system that I've used in the past, but one that was sticking to a proper bullet journal method, like trying to do it the way it's described or supposed to be done. Now, I'm going to talk about that later on in the video, but for the first part, I just want to focus on the actual notebook itself and give you a bit of a description. Now, this is a notebook from Leuchttrum, the company behind the Leuchttrum 1917 notebook, and it has many of the same features that that notebook has. For example, it features the same quality paper. It's about 80 GSM for reference there, which is quite thick, thicker and certainly more luxurious than something like a Moleskine or Moleskine, however you're supposed to say it, but not as thick as the Sketchnote Idea book here. It's also not as good for fountain pens as something like a Rhodia Web notebook, which I really love for using with a fountain pen and ink. But personally, I find this sort of paper better for gel pens and Pigma Micron style pens than the Rhodia notebook. Now, I know some other people disagree with me there, but I don't like how slippery the Rhodia paper is from the, I think it's a coating that's on it. Whereas on this paper, I find it works really well for like regular gel pens and stuff like that. Also, this is a dot grid notebook. It only comes in dot grid, unlike the other Leuchttrum notebooks, which can come in plain, dot grid or lined. Personally, I love dot grid, so it's great for me. And it also has like the ribbons that Leuchttrum notebooks have. It has an index page at the start, and it has a place where you can keep things at the back, much like Moleskine notebooks. A lot of these companies, these luxury notebooks, hardcover notebooks, they have some of those similar features together. Now, because it's the bullet journal notebook, there are some unique features for this notebook. And I'm going to again say, this is the original bullet journal notebook. There is now a new bullet journal notebook which has some variations, and we'll get on to that later. First thing you'll notice at the front, there is an embossed logo which says bullet journal. So that's an obvious sign of the difference right up front. Another thing you may notice in different versions, there are some different colors which you can get, which don't look the same as other colors that Leuchttrum do. However, Leuchttrum have expanded into a lot of different colors, so I don't know if that will be true when you watch this video. The next thing that you can see from the front is that this one has 3 ribbons, whereas the standard 1917 only has 2 ribbons. This is actually really great for the bullet journal system because it helps you to find the certain points in the notebook where you may have features like future log or a reference page at the back, or your plans, or the page of the day. And the fact that they have different colors as well really helps you jump to the page you want to get to. Now, the next thing you can see inside is that there is a bullet key right on the front, and this gives you the standard bullet journal note system, the dots that show a task or for a note or for an event, plus it also has space that you can add your own ones. Now, I haven't added too many of my own yet, but I have added some. Also at the front, you have the future log page, and this is part of the bullet journal system. It's a way to reference what's coming up in the future. Finally, at the back, you have an introductory guide to bullet journaling. So if you've never done bullet journals or you don't know what the system is, you have a reference at the back that you can turn to, you can read through, you can learn the system from that. Admittedly, I think the video that is online is probably a better way to do it, and I'll link to that video in the description below and probably on the screen now. But it's useful to have this system with you, that's something that you can just turn to, quickly read if you want to start using the bullet journal system. And in fact, that's why I bought this notebook. I really wanted to give the proper system a go, rather than just like stealing some ideas of things that I'd heard. And now, after about a month and a half of really giving it a go, I do have some thoughts about it. Now, first of all, what I really love about using the bullet journal system instead of a task manager or a digital app to keep track of tasks, of notes and stuff like this, is that I can have it open in front of me all the time with the things that I need to work on right now and no distractions. And that's really kind of part of this idea of mindful productivity behind the bullet journal. And that's so good in times when it's really busy, when there's so much on, and flicking through the different sections of an app to find can just feel really overwhelming when there's so many tasks there, some which maybe are due in months' time or years' time. But just seeing what there is for today, the tasks I need to do right now in front of me, really is great and helps avoid distractions from smartphones and stuff like that. Also, the flexibility of the system is really great. The fact that you can create your own layout on a page, or that you can just add a doodle if you want to in your notebook in a certain section, or you could decide that you want to, I don't know, just take a page and scribble some notes down about a project there. I really like that. I really like how you can have this combination of notes and tasks and just information all held together. Now, onto the problems that I've had with the system. The main problem is the same problem that I had before, and it's basically that I haven't really fully adopted the system. There is an element which I just don't quite get how I'm supposed to do, and that is, let's say I've got a task that needs to be done on Thursday this coming week. Now, it's Monday today, so if I have a task for Thursday, then I need to be able to know to do that on Thursday, but I don't need to know about it every day until Thursday. So how do I do that? Because in the official bullet journal system, you shouldn't do a page in advance, because you may add extra pages, you may take up less than a full page, more than a full page. You don't know, and you want to have that flexibility. But that just means that I end up forgetting about tasks that are due on a certain day. So in the end, what I've done is I started to just use this along with a digital app which has reminders, and that kind of feels like it invalidates the point a little bit. But maybe that's not true, and maybe that's maybe it's fine to use both. I still feel like I don't have a great balance between using a digital app and a notebook, because sometimes I forget to take things off in the digital app or whatever. So that's an issue that I have with that. Another thing is about the time it takes to create some of these layouts. You can find some examples of really beautiful designs for pages, and also useful designs as well, where they give you ideas of, oh, here you should put this information, here you should put that information, here's how you can arrange it this way. But all of these take time to create, and maybe it's not a lot of time, but if you're starting a day a bit late, if your kids are acting up, then you don't necessarily have the time that you want to be able to sit down and create that. And I kind of wish there were more sort of templated pages in here. So in fact, what I think I may start doing is creating these some layouts for pages that I want to use, with some common things that I want to keep track of each day, and then print those off and keep them in a Filofax along with some extra additional regular note pages. And that way I can kind of make a bullet journal system, but also have the benefit of being able to quickly produce notes, quickly use a layout. I don't have to recreate it each time. For example, to give a very specific example, I really like using the daily plan bar, which is an idea from Mike Rohde. Again, link below, link probably on screen right now. And the idea of that is to keep track of your expectations of how much time each task should take, what you need to do, schedule time there, and then also track how you actually spend your time. It's a great way to keep track of estimates and stuff like this. But drawing that out each day and putting that information in takes time. If you have it prepared out rather than needing to ruler it out each day and just mark things off, that would save a lot of time for me. So that's basically my thoughts. It's a good notebook. It's not the world's best notebook. I really like the paper though. If you're looking for a notebook to start bullet journaling, you've heard a bit about the system, but you're not sure if it's right for you, I think it's a really good choice. But I think you could probably get away with either using a regular Leuchttrum notebook and perhaps just adding an extra ribbon yourself, or using a marker, using a page marker to keep track of where you are, or just creating a file of facts as I suggested earlier. Maybe that would be a better system for me or for you. So yeah, if you want to check it out, I'll have a link below. There is a new version and that has some additional features such as stickers, which can help be useful to put some information in quickly, put some markers down. I hope to get a copy of that to check out and review as well. But for the meantime, maybe you want to check out this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who takes time to leave a comment, like the video, or subscribe. It really helps me know what content is useful for people, and I hope to catch you in the next video.